Welcome back to the living room and a welcome home to Amanda.
That's right. I was at the beach last week.
Without Scott and
Without
the
the family. It's the annual girls trip. This was like number 26,
26 years strong.
So we go about the same time, same place every year. 30A area. It's real nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Glad she gets to do that, and also very glad she's home. We missed her. But things did not stop here just because she was not doing any work.
I wasn't doing any work. Scott did it all. What'd you do?
Well, we got one of our buyers under contract for a house in Madison. We're about to have the inspection on that, so expecting it to go well. And finally, I know he's ready to find a place. He's been looking a while, and so got that done, and then showed a few houses last week to potential new clients. We had some leads come in that I say we.
Again, Scott did it all.
I met with and showed some homes, and then even today we looked at some potential upcoming listings for some properties around town. So things are happening.
That's right. Which leads me to a question.
Is this the question?
Yeah, this is going to be the
Getting
question.
right into it.
It was a good segue, and I didn't even tell you what the question was going to be.
You never do.
So we looked at those houses today, and something that we've talked about with sellers. I feel like a good bit about buyers recently. We talked last week with Adam Black about interest rates and people waiting around for something to happen. From the seller standpoint, though, and this leads into what we looked at today, do you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions about how much people should do to their home before listing it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
I do, but I'm going to see what he says.
So, I mean, one, really, it's important for us to get to their motivation and ultimately what their goal is. If they're trying to maximize their dollar, or they're looking for a quick sale, those are factors that would influence the answer. But in general, I would say the things that are the most cost effective, that have the biggest bang for your buck, because you can spend a lot of money on bathrooms and kitchens and not get that back. You can do all kinds of upgrades that look great and cost a lot of money that you won't get dollar for dollar return on the sale. And so I would say things that tend to be more cost effective are simple things like painting and just like sprucing up the landscaping.
I was going to say landscaping.
Yeah, keeping the yard nice. Just what the first impression when somebody pulls up or even sees the picture online and sees a beautiful, well-kept yard in front of the house is super important. It can have the nicest insides ever, but if it doesn't look good on the outside, it just puts a bad taste in their mouth to start with. And so, no peeling paint, no rotten wood, and then just make the beds and yard nice.
Yeah, and sadly, like the peeling paint and rotten wood, like that's not really the fun stuff.
No.
But those are the things that come up on inspections.
Yeah, you can get out ahead of that and kind of nip some of that in the bud. Because, I mean, yes, it's a small thing, but it's kind of annoying when you get an inspection report back and could have addressed this on the front end and not feel like I'm under pressure to do it now.
Which kind of goes into the idea about deferred maintenance. When we are living in our homes, we get used to the way the way things are, and it doesn't really bother us. But when you're selling a home, somebody else is going to be coming in, and they're not used to those things.
And they're not you.
And they're not you. That's right. And so just something to keep in mind when you're actually living in your home, when you're not even getting ready to sell it. If you have no plans to sell your home, I still think it's a good idea to handle some of those little things along the way. That way, if you ever do decide to sell your home, it's not like, oh, shoot, I got to spend $20,000 to get it ready.
Yeah. And on a related note, and this is similar to that, just because you're okay with something doesn't mean that a buyer will. So we see a lot of times something will come up on an inspection report that existed when you bought the home and it didn't bother you. Yeah. But you can't expect someone else not to be bothered by the things that don't bother you. Yeah. And so, there's some code things now that everybody's getting flagged on: double tap neutrals in the electrical panel, or a flex pipe going into a furnace. These are code violations now that new buyers want to get fixed. And so those are easy fixes to do and less annoying when you do them on your own time rather than, oh gosh, we got to do them now.
Yeah, and I think going back to my question, so looking at like motivation, prioritizing where you want to spend some money on the front end, and we certainly don't say fix everything. We don't say that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say renovate your kitchen. I wouldn't. Now, if there's something that's easy to do, like hardware, you want to maybe update some stuff, that's okay, I would say. Maybe some new lights, you don't have to spend a ton. Paint is a really good one that you're like, I don't want to spend the money to paint. Okay, maybe you offer a painting allowance.
Sure.
Maybe your floors, you bought your house and you've changed flooring. I'm looking at our floors right now. I'm like, I would love to switch these floors out. But, you know, you don't want to pay for brand new floors. Maybe you offer a flooring allowance. And so I think when you're thinking about selling, we can talk through some of those ways to make it more appealing, even if it's outdated.
Mm-hmm. And I would say too, like one of the risks of you updating things yourself is that the buyer might have a different taste.
That's true. Scott feels that more than I do. I think that less, but I certainly understand. And I would say that about a big thing, maybe if you're going to drop a whole lot of money, like, maybe. But if you're going to paint a house a nice neutral color, I think.
Yeah, I don't mean painting. I think paint is so
I think you're talking about floor,
unoffensive, but flooring or cabinets. I've walked into the houses that someone flipped, and I've been like, why did you spend $50,000 on what? And I don't have as strong an opinion of updated things as Amanda does about how things look, but I was personally offended by them. And to say you could have made this $50,000 less and let somebody come in and do these updates themselves.
So one thing we talked about today in looking at some of these homes, you also have the option to not do anything and price it low.
Yeah.
And that's a great strategy.
Yeah, especially if you want to move it quickly.
If you want to move it quickly and say, we're going to set it here, we know what it could sell for if fixed up, and maybe you don't want to deal with it. Maybe you don't have the money to deal with it, and you're like, I just want to let it go. Well, let's let it go.
Yeah, or you just don't, like, even if you have the money, there's risk in putting money into something and then it's still not selling.
Yeah.
Or you just don't want to deal with the hassle.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. So there's some easy things to do to spruce it up. Y'all, I'm even talking like, put your stuff up in the bathroom. You know?
Yeah.
There's some like things that don't cost any money that you can do, all the way to painting a whole house and putting new floors down. So we like to really talk that through with people when they are getting ready to list their house. And also setting people's expectations. That I think that is very helpful in the selling process.
I would agree. And so generally, I think to sum this up, oftentimes less is more. And because you can spend a little bit of money to make the biggest impact, and then leave some things alone because you're going to let them choose it, or you can offer an allowance for it.
That's true. Well said.
Thanks.
Also, what do you think the greatest candy of all time is?
For me, it's anything Reese's.
I think I would have said that at one time.
No, she's on something else now.
Nerds gummy clusters.
And specifically for her, the blue flavor.
The blue bag. This was one of my travel candies. I cannot stop eating these. I've never had that really before.
She has a problem. And she doesn't, the red bag and the orange bag don't do it for her.
Don't come at me with those. I like the blue bag.
Yeah. So if you wanted to treat Amanda.
That was a hard turn that I just made there, but the bag has been sitting in front of me. I also really like my other gas station snack is the Reese's Animal Crackers.
Yes.
Man, those are good. We talked about them before.
I sometimes stop and pick them up for her, and she's borderline angry with me for bringing them home.
Because I can't not eat them. They have them at the QT.
They do.
And they also have the big bag at Costco.
She actually exercised willpower at Costco last week and wouldn't let me buy them more.
I did. I said I can't. I will legit eat them all. Yeah. They're very good to me.
So if you need a recommendation for a good candy, you have options.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's all we got for this week.
That's right. Have a good week. See you next time.
Next time.
Bye.